Good morning, I'm Larry Steinhouse, and welcome to Money Chat Now. Money Chat Now is a politically charged stock market pre-show, giving you the politics behind the biggest moves in the stock market. It is presented with comedic common sense by an expert in financial literacy, and hey, that's me, Larry Steinhouse. All right, today is Wednesday, January 12th, and I want to welcome you to the show. We are here live on WWDB Radio in Philadelphia, and of course we are live on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and YouTube. Hey, just remember, if you're watching online, hit that share button, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and of course like the Money Chat Now page on Facebook. You can comment live during the show on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter, and I'll even try to get back to you. Hey, Money Chat Now is brought to you by Investor Schooling, and you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday by going to investorschooling.com, and there you will learn about real estate investing, stock options trading, and everything money. We teach everything money at Investor Schooling. All right, so on today's show, we're going to be talking about the futures. Of course, we always talk about the futures, right? We're going to be talking about the Supreme Court silliness. Let's talk about this. Hey, we're going to be talking about Russia, Ukraine. We're going to be talking about, hey, is there a healthy economy or isn't there? We're going to be talking about empty stores, IRS delays, and of course, today's picks. Hey, I want to say hello to Dan and Bill and Tom. Thanks so much for watching. I totally appreciate you guys. All right, so basically yesterday, the markets kind of had trouble making up their minds in the morning, but it came back afterwards, and the real story was the NASDAQ peaked about 200 points upwards to finish 213 points in the positive. That was pretty awesome. Basically, investors decided it was time to move back into tech stocks, and the bond rates settled into a groove right around 1.75. You know, if you've been watching, if you've been paying attention, I told you this was going to happen, and the investors are basically going to get used to the higher bond rate, but I still see the bond rate dropping in the near future, at least temporarily, like maybe over the next couple of weeks. I'm going to tell you that I had a few great movers yesterday with Meta, Apple, and the travel stocks, and if you were paying attention the last couple of days, I've been giving you those hints to buy them, and sure enough, they all made money. Hey, also, we're going to be getting more into this at the end of the day, or the end of the show, I should say. And right now, the futures are up 22. The S&P is up 1.75, and the NASDAQ is 9.5. And I'm telling you, it'll probably going to be a decent day. Nothing like yesterday, but a decent day. Hey, Mick, thanks a lot for watching. I totally appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. I got my normal fans, and you guys get ready for this. Let's talk about the Supreme Court silliness. All right, if you don't already know, the Supreme Court is hearing oral arguments on Gestapo Joe's vaccine mandate. As of now, there's no verdict. However, the news has decided to report on, or maybe tell on, the justice who refuses to wear a mask at the hearing. I like this guy already, by the way. Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch does not wear a mask for the hearing, even as all the other justices in attendance did so. Look, I'm both surprised and worried that he's the only one not wearing a mask. My guess is that he has had enough of all the lies and the manipulation that the other justices are still allowing the scamdemic to rule their lives. So he's saying, I've had enough. The other one's just saying, hey, the rules in the scamdemic are still ruling their lives. Look, I've said this from the beginning. There are those who firmly believe that they're saving the world and themselves from a virus. That's fine. These people will never be convinced that masks don't work or vax may or may not work. It really doesn't matter. But more importantly, that masks don't work. There are also others like me who are firmly convinced that a piece of paper and a string across your face is completely useless, and why would you ever want to do it, right? This piece of string and a piece of paper? Seriously, right? All right. Both these extremes are not the people who will win the fight against government overreach. The people in the middle, you know, the ones who say, it's just a mask, I don't think it works, but I'll wear it so people don't get angry with me. Or they say, it's just a mask they're making me wear, I don't see how this takes away my freedom. These are the people who are the problem. So here we have it. Only one Supreme Court Justice, Neil Gorsuch, is not wearing a mask, believing, of course, that it does not work. And he, as an American, is entitled to freedom under the Constitution. Clearly, he will vote against Gestapo Joe and his ridiculous mandate. Now take Justice Sonia Sotomayor. who normally sits next to Gorsuch during such hearings and until recently had been the sole justice to wear a mask, began participating in arguments remotely through an audio connection to her chambers last Friday. So basically, she's not only wearing a mask, but she's wearing a mask in her chambers, so she can't be in the room with the other people. That means she will clearly vote for Gestapo Joe. Of course, the article goes on and on and on about how irresponsible Gorsuch is for not wearing a mask, but I'm personally worried about the other 7 Supreme Court justices being swayed and saying, hey, it's just a mask, it's just a vaccine, suck it up. This indicator is a scary thought, especially with a conservative-leaning panel of justices. Remember, if this goes bad, the Constitution goes bad with it. I'm also surprised that this hasn't been settled yet. To me, it was an open and shut case. It's totally unconstitutional, so stop it. But we'll have to wait and see. All right, let's talk about Russia-Ukraine. So it's funny, I write these stories, sometimes I write them the day before, and I started off with this line. You haven't seen much in the news about Russia and the Ukraine lately. And the funny part is today there's a whole bunch of articles on Russia and Ukraine, so I actually wrote this before there was all these articles. But anyway, it's basically because the scamdemic is always more important than a potential war. Anyway, this is a real issue. To catch you up to speed, Ukraine is practically begging the coward in charge of the United States, President Poopy Pants himself, to help them join NATO. The interesting part of this is Ukraine wants to be protected from a Russia invasion by being part of NATO and knowing that the Allies will back them. So Russia is saying that if we don't let the Ukraine become part of NATO, then they promise not to invade them. I have to say that this is an interesting cat and mouse game that this administration is definitely too childish to handle. So being the amateur he is, President Poopy Pants has told Russia, you ready? That there will be severe consequences to them invading Ukraine. Now, I have to say that when Trump says something like this, the leaders of other countries listen and think about what severe consequences really are. When Poopy Pants says severe consequences, I truly think of the Monty Python skit where they say, I will fart in your general direction as a warning to stay away from the castle. Seriously. This is what Poopy Pants is going to do. What more is he going to do? What is he going to do? Throw his depends at Putin? Sanctions. That's what he's threatening with them. Sanctions. He's threatening him. He's threatening one of the strongest bullheaded leaders with a promise that he would limit trade with them. Oh, wait a minute. Doesn't Russia control oil in that region? Would Poopy Pants say that he won't buy oil from them and then punish us more for his decision to close the pipeline? Please stick with you will fart in their general direction. At least it won't hurt us as much. By the way, if Poopy Pants doesn't fart in their general direction or place, sanctions for retaliation, China is more of an ally of Russia than the U.S. And while we've seen all of what Biden's domestic policies are a total failure, now we're going to get to see his foreign policies drive us up even worse or close to World War III or simply no oil for Americans. Either way, this is going to be bad. I'm expecting Russia to move in quickly, and I would predict in about 4 weeks. So watch this. I'm going to say in about 4 weeks, Russia's going to move in. And when it happens, the market's going to tank. By the way, it's going to be quick and fast, and it's not going to really matter anymore. But be prepared for it because the markets are going to drop when it happens, and it's going to be an absolute bargain hunting day. I realize that's kind of greedy, but that's the way it is. All right, let's talk about a healthy economy. So yesterday, by the way, Mike, I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Hey, Lou, thanks for watching. I totally appreciate it. So yesterday, Fed Chairman Jerome Powell was speaking at his confirmation hearing and stated that the economy is both healthy enough and in need of tighter monetary policies. Powell said that he expects a series of interest rate hikes this year, along with other reductions in the extraordinary help the Fed has been providing during this scamdemic. All right, during his confirmation, Powell was asked many questions about inflation, which is running at a 40-year high. So when he was asked these questions, the rumor was that Powell quickly reached into his pocket and pulled out what appeared to be a picture of Biden with a finger pointing, and the picture apparently had the caption that said, "I did that." Sources also say that Powell quickly put it back in his pocket and stuck it on a gas pump on his way home from the confirmation hearing. All right, Powell continued. Powell continued to confirm that he has been advising that there would be at least 3 minimum interest rate hikes this year, and then said if we see inflation persisting at high levels longer than expected, then we might have to raise interest rates more over time. And I'm going to tell you, he will. He also continued, we will use our tools to get inflation back. Of course, Powell has also discussed the insider trading issue that I reported yesterday and assured the public that new rules will make it harder for Fed chairs and officials to continue to take advantage of insider trading, so it'll make it harder for them to do it, right? This made me laugh. He actually said this about insider trading. The old system was in place for decades, and then suddenly it was revealed insufficient. Really? So you guys got caught with your hands in the cookie jar, and you blame the cookies? Wow. All in all, it looks like the period of 2 to 3% interest rates, by the way, will be gone for many years, and we're going to go back to a normal monetary policy. I've been saying it for months now. Go refinance, take out all you can from your properties while prices are high and interest rates are low. And by the way, I got to tell you something. In Pakistan, there are several violent riots going on because of inflation in that country. So fuel prices there have actually doubled over a short period of time. Do you think if fuel prices here will do the same? Do you think anybody would do anything more than put one of those, hey, I did that sticker on a pump? Do you really think a hedge inflation would be smart right now? Well, if you want to hedge inflation, buy some real estate. And if you want to learn how to do that, watch the next commercial.
Okay, so you've thought about investing in real estate, houses, apartment buildings, properties, but don't really know where to start? Well, what if you could very easily learn how to gain strategies to use other people's money to buy and sell houses in the Philadelphia area? If you could learn and network with successful area real estate investors and how to produce monthly income on rental properties without headaches, that place is Investor Schooling. With Investor Schooling, you'll learn from 2 Philadelphia area rockstar real estate investors, Phil Falcone and Larry Steinhouse, about how to buy and sell properties the easy way and teach you basic and advanced techniques to help you make money in real estate. You can attend Investor Schooling in person or online visual classes 8 times a month. You can and will learn how to make money in real estate. Call for free information and get a complimentary pass to one of these classes. But don't delay, as these complimentary passes are limited. Call the number on your screen now or visit investorschooling.com. investorschooling.com.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse. And of course, if you'd like more information on investor schooling, you can go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829, 866-424-2829. Hey, I want to thank you all for listening on WWDB Radio in Philadelphia. I got to laugh because Lou online says he can't believe that I'm still on this station. Frankly, I can't believe it either, but as long as they let me air, that's fine with me. Hey, if you're watching online, please hit that share button so you can help your friends learn about how to make more money. And, of course, give them a laugh. Hey, hit that like button. Let me know you enjoyed the show. Leave comments. Let me know what you think about the show today. Let me know what you think about my Monty Python humor today. And also, you can leave comments on LinkedIn and YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, and I'll try to respond to them. All right, so far, of course, we've been discussing the futures update. The Dow is up 44 points. The S&P is up 6.5. And the NASDAQ is up 42. It's probably going to be a good day, and we'll find out soon. Hey, we talked about the Supreme Court silliness and the fact that only one Supreme Court justice is wearing a mask. Not wearing a mask in the hearing, and that worries me a lot. We talked about Russia, Ukraine, and President Poopy Pants and how useless he's going to be in that. We talked about a healthy economy, maybe. And coming up next, we're going to be talking about empty stores and IRS delays. Hey, and of course, we're going to be talking about today's picks and plays. But did you hit that like button? Did you hit that share button? Come on now. Did you also leave me some comments on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter? And of course, if you're listening on WWDB Radio, be sure and set a preset to this station and listen every day at 7:30. And look up the Money Chat Now page on Facebook when you get home and let me know what you think of the show. Hey, Charlie says, I don't see why you can't be on that station. Well, you need to know that this station is a pretty liberal station, and it's pretty funny that I'm on it. All right, let's get into the second half, and we'll talk about what's going on. So let's talk about some empty stores. All right, have you been to the supermarket lately? Right now, my wife is yelling at the radio and telling me that I've never been to the supermarket. Okay, but if you don't have a great wife like mine who goes to the supermarket for you, then you might have experienced the empty feeling you had at the beginning of the scamdemic. It appears that with everyone calling in COVID, when they cough or sneeze, even once, a worker shortage has once again arrived. It used to be when you had a cold, you took some cold medicine, and you went to work. You know, like I'm doing right now for the last week. I come every day and do this show with my cold. You guys could go to the supermarket and stock the shelves. All right, so sometimes it was really bad. If it was really bad, you took a day off or two, and then went back to work as your cold symptoms got better. Well, now that we have the scary Omicron variant, and everyone is afraid they will kill someone's grandmother if they sneeze in public, this is keeping people home and slowing deliveries of goods and slowing the stocking of shelves at grocery stores. So the publicly traded grocery store companies, like shares of major grocers, including Albertsons, Kroger, and even Walmart, fell yesterday as investors are worried we have trouble meeting earnings expectations with the sudden wave of no-shows. All right, last month I mentioned that the reason for the airline industry had so many people calling in COVID, it was because right before the rumored change of the CDC guidelines, they used to say, by the way, stay home for 10 days, and now, of course, the science says stay home for 5 days. Anyway, the airlines worker, being smart, realized that if they call in COVID before the day of the rumored change, they would get 10 days paid leave instead of 5 days paid leave. As you know, within days of that, the CDC did change the guidelines to 5 days. Well, it appears we are going through that same thing with the grocery store workers. My guess is as we're starting to come closer to the scandemic nonsense ending, many workers are saying, hey, 5 extra days of sick time paid, I'm going to take it. So I'm just going to sneeze or call in COVID, and basically, I'm going to get 5 days paid off. So I'm going to expect this issue to cause another bump in inflation over January and February. Hey, look, don't forget to stock up on emergency food rations as well. You never know what this government will bring next. That's amazing. What's going on? All right, let's talk about IRS delays. Hey, with all the talk about free pay and 10 days off paid, you would imagine that the already stereotyped government employee is taking full advantage of the scamdemic by both working from home, and of course, some of these employees haven't seen their office in almost 2 years, and then they're trying to take their 10 days paid time off while they drink chicken soup and watch Dr. Phil. Well, that means that the employees at the IRS are also out sick or, lazy. But how does that affect you? Well, the tax refund you get every year, it might be a bit delayed. Here's an interesting number, right? As of December 23rd, the IRS is still backlogged over 6 million returns from last year. Now, my guess is, some of these are late filers, but 6 million backlogged? The tax credit payments also slowed down. It's also, remember this tax credit payments also slowed down the IRS. Many of the employees were transferred to help with the distribution as well as manning the phones for questions regarding the tax credits. So there were so many calls about the tax credits. By the way, check this out. The statistics coming from the IRS office show that there are so many calls into the IRS that only 7% of the calls actually reach a live person. Wow. That means if you have a question about anything, you probably won't get an answer. Well, the upside is that audits probably will be the last thing on the list of things that the IRS is going to want to do. But if you're one of those people who counts on your tax refund in April, I'm telling you right now, you need to adjust your deductions so that the government takes less money from your check and stop lending the government money at no interest. And then they're going to hold you back. By the way, this is one of the things that we teach or taught over and over again at investor schooling. For those of you guys who know, it's not just about real estate or stock options, it's total financial literacy. Take a look at this commercial and learn more.
Okay, so you've thought about investing in real estate, houses, apartment buildings, properties, but don't really know where to start? Well, what if you could very easily learn how to gain strategies to use other people's money to buy and sell houses in the Philadelphia area? If you could learn and network with successful area real estate investors and how to produce monthly income on rental properties without headaches, that place is Investor Schooling. With Investor Schooling, you'll learn from two Philadelphia area rockstar real estate investors, Phil Falcone and Larry Steinhouse, about how to buy and sell properties the easy way and teach you basic and advanced techniques to help you make money in real estate. You can attend Investor Schooling in person or online visual classes 8 times a month. You can and will learn how to make money in real estate. Call for free information and get a complimentary pass to one of these classes. But don't delay, as these complimentary passes are limited. Call the number on your screen now or visit investorschooling.com. investorschooling.com.
All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I am your host, Larry Steinhouse. And of course, if you'd like more information on Investor Schooling, you can go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829, 866-424-2829. Hey, by the way, if you're watching online, the only way I know you're watching online is if you leave comments. So please leave comments. I don't even care if you just say hi. Just leave a comment. Let me know you're there. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the futures update real quick. The Dow is up 44, the S&P is up 6.25, and the Nasdaq is up 37.5. We've also been talking about the Supreme Court silliness and how only one Supreme Court justice is coming to the hearing without a mask. That worries me. We talked about President Poopy Pants and how useless he's going to be with Russia and the Ukraine. We talked about whether there's a healthy economy or not. We're going to find out. We talked about empty stores and, of course, IRS delays. Coming up is today's picks and plays. But first, did you guys hit that share button? Did you hit that like button? Hey, let everybody know what great stock plays are coming by sharing this information. Don't forget, you can share on your own page or in groups that you feel will benefit from great plays. Hey, Rob, I want to say thanks so much. Hey, so Robin says, because of my cough, he just put a mask on my phone. Yes, if you're listening to this show right now, you have a chance of getting the scary Omicron variant, because it's just as transmissible over the radio and over the Facebook airways as it is if I'm not wearing a mask. Whatever. Anyway, all right, you can leave comments on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, and please do. And if you're listening on WWDB Radio, don't forget to set one of your presets to this channel and listen every day at 7:30 for all you need to know about the politics behind the stock market. All right, it was another great day yesterday, and it looked a little scary in the morning, but sure enough, right after the 10:30 coffee break, the market skyrocketed. For those who don't know about my coffee break theory, here's a tip. On most days, the market will sink to its lowest point at about 10:30. And my theory on this is really simple. The traders have been working all morning making trades, and at 10:30 they meander into the break room and get their jolt of caffeine for the rest of the morning rush. It's interesting. Take a look and see if you can see the same pattern on most days. Yesterday, I definitely took advantage of this pattern and bought some stock options at 10:30. And by 2 o'clock, I sold almost all of them at nice profits. By the way, today we're expecting a report on the Consumer Price Index, and this is going to be a telling report. So the expected number will be about 7% increase. Now, I'm going to tell you that any large deviation from this number will cause a big pullback in the market. So it either goes too high or too low, the market's going to react. So watch for that report in about a half an hour. It'll be released in about a half an hour. But here are some plays to watch for. I would seriously buy any dip right now. Buy any dip right now. I'd buy Meta, I'd buy Apple, airline stocks. Anything that dips, I would buy. The travel stocks are going to be fantastic. The oil stocks have been skyrocketing as well. And here's one that I mention every once in a while. Nikola is actually a stock I'm beginning to like more and more as the electric and alternate fuel vehicle market keeps heating up. The vehicle industry has had a disruption, but I'll tell you what, I got another disruption coming, and just going to be my prediction. The industry is going to actually start to sell more vehicles online, and guess who I think is going to be one of the largest sellers? Amazon. Now, it's not today, but watch for it. Remember this episode many years from now. When that happens, I'm actually going to say in about 3 to 4 years, that's what's going to happen, and you'll see it. All right, let's talk a little bit about crypto. So crypto is inching back, but it's a far cry from the highs that we saw a few months ago. Look, to all you hoodlers, I hope you guys aren't losing sleep. I know some of you have put your entire paycheck of $500 into it, and you're worried about it. Don't worry about it. You either decided to put it in and you need to decide that you're going to lose it or you're not going to lose it. It doesn't matter. Either way, it's fine. Just go for it. And even Mick is saying, let's go Shiba. All right. I don't know, man. Mick, it's a good thing I bought it and sold most of it because I don't know if it's going to come back. All right, gold and silver, it isn't doing much. And we'll see. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's not. Gold is still hovering around 1,800 and silver around 22. I definitely say pick some up. You're definitely going to want to pick some up because it's going to be a time in the future that you're going to need that. And it's actually going to do really, really well, especially as inflation starts to creep up. All right, the Treasury bond is still under about 1.74, and I told you I expect it to go down over the next few days as investors start to move back into tech stocks. I'm predicting it'll be under 1.5 within a week, or probably within a week. However, I also expect it to go up in February and create a range of about 1.5 to 1.75. Now, look, I'm going to also say that this is going to be good for investors because the investors are going to get used to this number, and that's important. So the investors are going to get used to the number, and that means that, look, it's just going to be par for the course. Nothing to really worry about, nothing to get panicked about. Just notice that it's going to start to happen. Interest rates are going to slowly start to move up. That's just the way it is. It's always like that. All right. Hey, Mick's even telling me that he got in at 2.8 millionth of a cent in Shiba, so he must be doing really well. I hope you sold it at 70 millionth of a cent. You would have made a lot of money. All right, before we finish, I want to thank the listeners on WWDB Radio in Philadelphia, and I want to thank you for your continued support. Listen, if you hate the show, just turn off your radio. If you like the show, let us know. Go over to the WWDB fan page on Facebook and let everybody know how much you like the show. And of course, you can leave comments on that fan page as well. My name is Larry Steinhouse, and of course, I'm the host of Money Chat Now. And you should know that I also have a book out there. My book is called Money Hacks. And if you haven't ordered that book yet, go to BarnesandNoble.com, order the book, Larry Steinhouse, Money Hacks. And of course, if you made any money with the show, let me know. Also, once again, as always, I own some of the stocks or assets discussed on this show. No one has asked me to make any of the opinions that I make on this show. They are my own. Imagine that. Could you imagine if somebody actually asked me to make these opinions? I don't know if they could pay me enough. All right. Either way, have a profitable day, and I'll see you tomorrow.